Hey Saints, welcome back to SFHS Today. I'm Ronan Iverson.
And I'm Casey Shields.
In national news, the nation reeled as the deadliest mass shooting in modern history unfolded in Las Vegas, Nevada last Sunday. On October 31st, gunman Stephen Paddock attacked concertgoers at the Route 91 Music Festival. Classes took a moment of silence last Monday to acknowledge the tragedy. Reporters Paige Aldridge cover the story.
During the Route 91 Music Festival around 10:08 p.m., shots rang out for about 10 to 15 minutes.
So my mom's friend was there, and she texted my mom in the morning and was talking about it, and saying that it was it was crazy. It was something you never experienced, right? Like, you're just gonna go out, have a fun night with your friends. It could happen to anyone, anywhere, and then all of a sudden, she just heard it going off.
59 people were killed and 527 people were injured. The man held responsible, 64-year-old Stephen Paddock, was a retired accountant who was divorced twice with no children.
She was at first really confused what was going on, and then because she thought maybe it was something for the show, and then when everyone kind of realized together that this is something bigger than that, and so obviously they were all running for their lives and stuff, and people were climbing on top of their loved ones and stuff. And
Paddock lived in Mesquite, Nevada. According to CNN, Paddock checked into the Mandalay Hotel 3 days prior to the festival. Officials say he never left his room, keeping at least 20 guns with him.
My mom's friend said that despite all this craziness going on, the one amazing thing out of it was people were helping people they don't even know. People were grabbing smaller children, saying, "Hey, it's okay. We're gonna find your parents. We're gonna figure this out." Children who ran off, and smaller people, big guys were just grabbing people and running off. And in a situation where you think it's every man for themselves, it totally wasn't. And that was the little spark of humanity amongst all the tragedy.
Thanks for the information, Paige. We'll keep you updated as new information is released. In school news, on November 7th, the residents of ISD 15 will be voting on a building bond referendum. SFHS Media is doing a series of reports on the bond. This week, reporters Katie Bjork and Maggie Winkle spoke with the principal of St. Francis Middle School to find out the impact on the building.
So there's many different changes. To start with, as many of you know, getting kids across Highway 47 is very dangerous, and so that would be part of the referendum if it passes, in order to make that more safe for students. Also, when you enter our building, the referendum will help us make that a secure entrance, which it's not secure at this moment. A couple other changes are to our music program. We will be restructuring and recapturing some space in order to make our music department have more space and be able to serve all students that would like to take part. There's a couple other things. 4th and 5th grade is currently here, and they would be relocated over to the elementary, which would allow us to recapture that space and provide different opportunities for students.
Hey Saints, we're here at St. Francis Middle School, and at the intersection between the tech hallway and the fax hallway.
If the referendum bond passes, improvements will be made to both areas.
Things. So students would have many different opportunities here. With expanding tech ed, there'd be more classes offered.
This whole bond is about giving kids more opportunities and refurbishing all of the buildings, getting rid of the portables, and people said that they could support that.
Reporting to you live from SFHS Today, I'm Katie.
And I'm Maggie.
Thanks for the information. SFHS Today will have another report next week concerning the elementary school and the bond.
Last week was homecoming, which brought lots of traditions and some new ideas.
The week started with Spirit Days, including Make Yourself at Home Day, where people wore PJs. Tuesday was Home Run, where people wore their favorite sports jerseys. Wednesday was Homies, and even the language arts department got in on that. all wearing flannel shirts. Thursday was away from home and students dressed in their best tourist apparel. And Friday was their No Place Like Home breaking out the Saints gear.
Wednesday was a big day, starting with senior sunrise and ending with NHS Induction.
Early Wednesday morning, October 4th, Student Council hosted Senior Sunrise. At the event, seniors came to the football field to talk about the upcoming year and get some donuts and juice to share among their peers. During the event, teachers Clarissa Dobson and Megan Schmidt each gave a speech to the class of 2018.
And socially and globally.
Vice President Michaela Lindquist had a lot to do with preparing for this year's homecoming week.
For preparation for homecoming week, we've had to make a lot of publicity and we've had to get creative with our new events and ideas because, let's be honest here, a lot of them are a lot of repeats and we're trying to incorporate a lot of new things.
Kimberly Nickel, new advisor for Student Council and who took over for longtime advisor Ms. Cuskaden, talked about what it takes to make homecoming week happen.
It takes to start off just a bunch of brainstorming. We got some donations to be able to buy the donuts, so we'd just like to thank County Market for that. And the student council thought about what we wanted to do to serve the senior class well. So who do we want to speak? We had to arrange that we could use the field and this concession stand and get our speakers.
And now here's Ms. Dobson to give us all some words of wisdom.
Enjoy your senior year and don't forget, make positive choices.
Reporter Cammie Ferguson covered the yearly tradition of senior sunrise, while Wednesday after school, reporter Andrew Gilbert covered the NHS induction ceremony.
National Honor Society is a committee or a group of members that are highly scholastic. They volunteer amongst their community and in their schools, and basically it's just a group of, or an organization of academic students.
It's focused on the 4 pillars of leadership, scholarship, service, and character. And although students are excited to be in NHS for a lot of different reasons, many people say it's really important for colleges and for resumes. But I really appreciate it because it gives students that extra opportunity and obligation to just be good people.
Being inducted into NHS was a huge honor for me, and I think that it'll really help me as a student to grow and to be around people who are also really ambitious and really good, and it'll help me to be accountable for myself.
Over the last 3 years, I've worked really hard to keep my GPA up, to be able to be inducted, and I've just done my best to be the best all-around student I could be.
Being inducted into NHS means that I have been recognized for all my success within the past 2 years of my high school career.
What does it take for a student to qualify into NHS?
Well, first of all, you have to have a 3.7 GPA or higher. And then we have an application form that you have to fill out with 5 different essay questions. And then we also look for teacher recommendations and then outside references. And then a committee comes together and goes through all of that together to make sure that the student is qualified.
I am honored to see so many of my former students being inducted into the National Honor Society. And I'm also honored to give the induction speech this year for all of our new inductees.
On Friday, the homecoming royalty were introduced and the king and queen were crowned. During Pep Fest, reporters Lydia Gonzalez and Amanda Jordan got the scoop.
It's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, it
shows some school spirit.
Exactly.
I'm excited.
I'm excited, but still very surprised.
Kind of like nerve-wracking just in front of the whole school.
Kind of going along with what Luke said, but it's kind of cool knowing that like I'm nominated and people would want me to be the homecoming honor.
Amazing opportunity. I'm so glad that this has happened to me, and I'm just blessed.
Yeah, me too. I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be pretty dope.
I think it's cool.
Pretty excited.
I think it feels good. I feel really honored that my school voted for me.
Feels great. I feel excited that all my classmates voted for me and Kylie. Balling out every day, going hard in practice, and just getting after it.
Yeah, I think just like having good pride in our school and yeah, just like having good sportsmanship with everything that we do.
Friday afternoon, Student Council hosted a new event called Saints Night, with music, tailgating, food trucks, and a dunk tank, and lots of ways for the community to celebrate homecoming.
That's all we have for you this week, Saints.
Now stay tuned for sports, RQT, and weather.
Hey Saints, I'm Austin Adler here with the weather. Today, it is partly cloudy with a high of 59 and a low of 41. Tomorrow is mostly sunny with a high of 58 and a low of 41. On Wednesday, it should be partly cloudy with a high of 59 and a low of 43. Thursday, we are looking at sunny weather with a high of 60 and a low of 45. Friday, we have a low of 47 with a high of 66 and sunshine all day long. But be prepared for the weekend, Saints, because Saturday, we are looking at partly cloudy weather with a high of 63 and a low of 40. Now, on Sunday, we are looking at scattered showers with possible thunder and a low of 45. That concludes the weather for the week. Stay safe, Saints.
It's the random question thing. Ding.
My superpower would be to teleport.
My superpower would be to snap and I'd have 100 bucks.
Mine would be to go invisible.
Mine would be able to fly.
Read people's minds. Be able to fly.
My superpower would be to freeze time.
I would have to say walk on water.
Probably be to teleport.
I would like to be a lizard.
Me too. I wish I could travel through time.
To be able to run at the speed of light.
Super strength.
X-ray vision.
Hey Saints, I'm Tanner Kuncher, and this is Sport. Welcome to another week of sports. The girls' volleyball team had an away game last week against Osago Lake. They won 3-0. This Tuesday, they play Big Lake at home. In soccer news, the boys' team had 3 games against Cambridge, St. Anthony, and Buffalo. They beat Cambridge 4-1, beat St. Anthony 2-1, and beat Buffalo 2-1. This week, they start second. The girls' team had 2 games last week. They beat Cambridge last Tuesday and lost to Buffalo last Thursday 3-4. This weekend, they play Forest Lake in Forest Lake. Last Thursday, cross country had a meet at Rogers, and this week, the team has an invitational at Princeton. Last Wednesday, girls tennis played Forest Lake and lost 2-5 and competed in team sections. This week, they have individual sections on Tuesday. Many of the girls had a good season this year. Reporter Tanner Levi spoke with the coach and doubles team, Kylie Bergman and Grace Thruel, who have broken some records this year.
We play in a competitive Mississippi 8 conference. We started off playing some preseason matches against tough competition to prepare for that. We started off a little bit slow and gained momentum. We won, I believe, 5 of our last 7 matches, and that carried us into section play.
Good. We broke the school record for the most wins in our conference that we've had so far, coming into our new conference.
And we've won 9 in a row together.
Yeah.
So Kylie and Grace have been playing third doubles this year. Kylie played that position with another partner last year, and from last year to this year, I can see she's made some big improvements. She's more confident in her play. She's increased her competitive level, forehand, her serve, and then her ability to put balls away. Last year she was maybe more of what I call a butterfly at the net, kind of not as aggressive, and this year she's more of a shark. She just closes in, she's hunting, and what that does is it allows a younger partner like Grace, who's a sophomore, to feel confident. Kylie's really just calm, keeps her at ease, doesn't get rattled. She's been there before, and they compiled a pretty good record this year. They have a match winning streak of 9, dating back to September 19th. They started against Monticello, and
we lost a lot of seniors last year, but we all pulled it together, and I don't know, we all became leaders instead of just.
And we have a lot of younger girls kind of on varsity this year,
and everyone just stepped up and did good.
Doubles. Our singles players kind of carried in our top 3 singles players, and then a new player in at 4th singles, McKenna Shadowald. So anytime you have to move up a spot, like Jenna Cook had to move up a spot, you have an initial period where it's adjustment. The competition is a little bit better. Marlis Green slid over from first doubles to first singles, and so you're facing every team's best player every night. And her game has gotten a lot better. She's a little bit more confident with her shots. She's got more tools in her toolbox. Her forehands opened up for her. Noelle Myers, too, has just been kind of packing a wall up with her ground strokes. They're really deceptive coming over the net. They barely clear. It's tough for opponents to hit those back. And so just...
I think we did fairly well. Like, there's always room for improvements, but...
We had a good season. We competed really well with all the teams, and we've improved a lot from last year, I think.
And so just, I think building up our match confidence has been one of the biggest things we've had to try to do this year, is be confident with what our tools we have and then use them when the time is right. So.
The boys football team played Sasago Lakes for homecoming last week and play Cambridge in the Battle for the Paddle this week at home. The dance team had a show last Saturday, the 7th, and another show this Saturday, the 14th, in Blaine, and helped entertain the crowd at last week's Pep Fest with their annual Guy Girl Dance. Have a great week, Saints.